Hello, how y'all doing today? We're back at it again with another interview. I'm so glad it's been a minute. I know I apologize to y'all. We've been very busy, traveling, working, making things happen behind the scenes. But I am here with a group that I would like to introduce y'all. I want y'all to remember their names, remember what's to come, because these guys are the next up. So I'm here with the starting five. I want y'all to introduce yourselves. Let's tell the people who you are.
All right. I'm the Hemi, and I go by Gucci Fa on Instagram as well.
I'm Jalen. I go by J. My Instagram is J5600.
I'll go by my name is France. I go by France. Literally. My Instagram is France.viral.
Now, I just want y'all to know, like, man, especially with Gucci here, man, I've known him since I started this thing, and I'm just so happy that you're here with me. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I think you guys are really moving the culture. I think y'all are really trying to make something happen. And I just want people to know, what are y'all trying to accomplish here and, let the people know, a little bit. So, just kind of give a little background of who y'all are and how y'all came to be a little bit.
So, obviously, if you haven't known by now, we're starting five. How we came to be was kind of like, it was more of like a friendship thing. But then I think me and my group, the founders, we saw something bigger than that. So we was like, you know what? Let's take it even bigger than what it actually is and make it more like something we could represent from South Florida, like a group that we could represent from ourselves from South Florida. Because South Florida, they got a lot of things, but they don't have a specific thing to where it's like, oh, yeah, over there in Texas, they got nice things. Over there in Cali, they got nice things. Here in down South Florida, everybody's doing everything. Everybody's switching on to different trends and everything. So we wanted to do our own thing to where it's like, this is what can capitalize us and makes us different from everybody else. That's why I think Started Five is for us.
Yeah, and just to like piggyback off of his point, it started as a friendship thing. It was myself and Franz with three other people that we had in the group as well. And pretty much what happened was it was very spontaneous. Like right after the shoot, we just all went to Miami Beach and we started Twitch streaming. And we're like, dang, why don't we capitalize, like he said, on like the subculture and group of like fashion while also expanding into like different types of like social media markets, especially like Twitch. We're trying to really kick off with Twitch as well as like TikTok. Instagram obviously is our main platform of like communication and posting. But we also, like I said, want to network in different ways because like even in the car we mentioned groups like AMP. We look at that and we see it as like, why aren't people trying more so to like found something that they can like say will allow them to get to that level? Because like you see how successful each of them are individually, but together it's like you enjoy watching the group and the content they create. So I feel like with Starting Five, our main goal and mission is to somewhat expand into like different markets and just like capitalize on that. So.
I think that's really cool. I think that's, something that more people should try to do. One of AMP is one of those big groups. And I don't really see that in the fashion world. So I think that would be pretty interesting to do. I can piggyback off what you were saying, especially, seeing you at, neighborhood threads. I believe images of Lex, y'all really put it on. Y'all really put it on. The thing is, I think some people lack a little creativity from what I've seen. It's copy and paste. So would y'all say, do y'all do that makes you a little bit different from others? Because, the style more so nowadays you can tell is like more like baggy jeans and, a big shirt. But what do you guys do that's different than others?
I really like this question because I feel like it kind of goes into a trajectory where you're able to talk about what inspires you, not just with like fashion, but like I mentioned in general, as a creative mind. I feel like a lot of the time, what I really base my fits off of is just breaking the mold. Because what you see, like you mentioned, with like baggy jeans and baggy shirts, like, we still wear like baggy clothes because I feel like that's the aesthetic that I enjoy the most. But at the same time, I try to add my own thing. Like, I don't know if y'all seen, but like I have an overall phase right now. So I'm like wearing overalls and like I have a big jacket. I don't know if we can curse on here.
No, you, man,
okay,
hey, man.
I have a big ass jacket on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I try to, expand on it while also staying true to myself and what I feel like makes you, more comfortable. At the end of the day, it's comfortability. So I think for me, I look at something and I feel like if I can wear that and feel comfortable in it, that's the most important part. Another thing I have is a saying. People always come for me when it's like, dang, why you always wearing like 95-degree clothes in Florida? I'm just like, if I can't sweat out my outfit, I feel like I didn't wear it right. And me personally, it's just like, drip should come in all forms, whether it's sweating or, drip with whatever you put on. But it's just like, dang, personally speaking, I don't mind, sweating and feeling as though like, my outfit is humid just because like, in my opinion, it's my fit. Like you're not wearing it. So it's like, you really shouldn't take it too much into heart. So that's personally what inspires me with clothes.
But also too, like, have y'all like always, been putting it on? Like, when did it start for you? Because certain people like got they drip when it was like 2020. Like, let's be real, bro. Like, I like when I was in high school, I was wearing Hirachis. I ain't really had it like that. Hirachis. You remember that? You remember Hirachis, and then they had the joggers, Sperry's.
Katie's.
What?
Katie's. I still got my Katie's.
So were y'all different, like dressing in high school, or would you say more so, like I wouldn't say follow the trends, but KDs, like we said, LeBrons, how y'all feel about like the drip in high school?
Yeah, I got you. I say my dressing kind of like progressed throughout the years. Like you see now, like how dressing like overall it's just like a repeating cycle. Like how now it's like the 90s style back then is coming back and stuff like that. I got my dressing since, I'll say, my mom. I got my dressing from my mom and stuff like that. My mom always used to always dress me up, and then I started like dressing myself, and then I go based off like what my mom says and stuff like that. And like she kind of like inspired me to like go to school for this. Like right now I'm attending UCF, and I'm going to like visual arts, so I create like fashion and clothes like that.
That's pretty impressive. That's
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah. So like, what was your mom like? Had like the '90s style or like?
So yeah, my mom, she's from Jamaica, and like she used to be a hairstylist and stuff like that. So like the different styles that I would have like with my hair and stuff like that would like inspire me with like fits and stuff like that. And I always like, back then like everybody was like a sneakerhead. So I used to go off like I used to want every single pair of shoes, the newest Jordan 11s, the newest LeBrons, the Fruity Pebble LeBrons and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I used to go off everything that I wanted. So especially in elementary and stuff like that. And then like my friends back in elementary, I used to hang around like all the little boys and stuff like that, just going based off what they style and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I think that's something that not a lot of people get, from their mom. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I grew up in Haitian household, so I ain't really have that many options. I couldn't really dress the way I wanted to. So for me personally, it kind of came like when I got a little money, when I started working. And I always felt that I wanted to create for myself. I always didn't want to necessarily wear what everybody else is wearing. I don't know how you guys feel, but like there's a lot of brands out per se, especially in the streetwear style. I have a question for you guys. To me, I'm seeing a lot of merch, but not clothing brands. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but do y'all see more of merch or y'all see clothing brands? Like, do you see like, for example, we got like Filthy. Filthy is a clothing brand. It's more than just like copy and paste. I'd say like, you got Lil Yachty wearing it. Like, it's not just a logo. You know what I mean? What do y'all think about that? That difference between merch and just having an actual clothing brand?
I'll take it. So I actually like this question. So there's a lot of people out there, they, like you said, copy and paste. But it's like, the difference is how much soul and like how much you care about your brand for real. Because like anybody can just wake up and be like, you know what? I want to be a clothing brand influencer. Put my merch on somebody's jacket and be like, oh yeah, y'all come rock my merch. Da, 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 da. But it's like, it's a difference between whether you really care about your brand, like you want to elevate, or you just try to make a quick buck. That's really what it is for real. And like some of these people here, they just try to make a quick buck off their brand. Which there's no hate. I love a lot of y'all clothing brands, but it's like you could tell who's really doing it for the love and who's doing it just to see how much money they can make. Because they could do clothing brands 1 month, the next month they're off the trading. Like they just try to get they're just trying to get the quick buck, try to make a profit off of it.
Yeah.
And I want to really add on to this because I feel like it's the reason personally I haven't like modeled clothing brand, well, like you mentioned merchandise that we see and stuff like that. And I really make a comparison into like this thing I watched, WWE, right? And there's merch, and then there's like a brand that you can make off of it, right? And I feel like with merchandise, it's like you could easily just put a freaking logo and like, you know, certain imagery on there, and then like you sell it out. Obviously, if you have an audience, they're gonna consume it. But it's just like, dang, I would rather knowing that you didn't go to Temu, AliExpress, Alibaba, DH Gate, and got like Pakistan vendors, you know, like, and you just got a generic shirt. You process the logo like, you know, very cheaply, and like you put it onto something, and you're like, you know, showing all these nice graphics and stuff. But then like when I get your shirt and I wash it one time, it like starts to fade, you know. And I would really want for not just South Florida, but like a lot of clothing brands. We went up to Atlanta a couple weeks, a month ago.
A month ago.
We went up to Atlanta and we went to the streetwear event. I don't know the name of it, so I can't really name drop it, right? I promise y'all, every brand was the same. It was so diluted and it was expensive. So it's like you can't expect me to look at it as a consumer and want to buy a $200 like, you know, set. And it's just like, what am I getting from it? Like, you know, one wash and then I can't wear it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like that's personally my take on it. It was a little bit more harsh, but I really just had to say my truth, to be honest.
No, you just, you know, you're speaking your truth. But also, like, you know, I want to ask and want to get y'all opinion. What brands do y'all look at that y'all like, damn, like, you know, because me personally, like, you know, I say this a lot, but I've been to Neighborhood Threads as we all been. They're doing a great job. Shout out to them. Really cultivating the culture, really bringing different brands, different people out of all walks of life, and they're doing a great job. Just wanted to shout them out. I think Filthy is just at the top, especially for South Florida, per se. But what other brands, you know, maybe that people need to look out for? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in South Florida, but, you know, that people need to look out for.
So I got two. One that's not, well, he used to be in South Florida, but now he's in Houston.
Okay.
Shout out my dog EJ, Lost Mileage. Hey, his hoodies, his merch is so tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sad he's not doing it more down here in South Florida. He's doing it up there in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was doing it in South Florida, it was crazy. Like, it was popping. Another clothing brand, shout out my dog Brian, NTL. You know what I'm saying? New Touch Apparel.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta rock that New Touch Apparel. I feel like their colorway, their color schemes is popping now. I love their colorway. I love their color schemes. Brian, bless me with a jacket for that. You feel me? like literally, I feel like with his creative style and his like creative direction, I feel like it's so hard to where it's like you can really tell he loves doing what he's doing. Like he's always smiling, he's always rocking his merch. A lot of thing too is like there's a lot of clothing brand owners, they don't even rock their own merch.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see them with like Hellstar, Babe, all this, but they will never rock their own merch. But Brian, like every 24/7, you would always see him rocking his own merch. I promise you, Neighborhood Threads, he's gonna be rocking New Touch Apparel merch at Neighborhood Threads.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out NTL and shout out Lost Mileage.
For me, I would say is my homemade brand. His name is TJ. His brand is God Eyes. He's the reason why like I was like started like modeling for real. After I had modeling for his brand is when I started like really like people started seeing me for who I am and started having like letting me like model for them and stuff like that, reaching out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely shout out for him, his brand. And like his clothing is like his shirts are like actually good material, and he doesn't sell them for like $100 or nothing like that. Like it's like what, like 40 or less he'll go for it. So you don't expect those type of like sales for like good quality brands. And I was just talking to him last night and I was like, you need to come out with like a summer clothing brand. And so like soon you'll probably see like sleeveless shirts and stuff like that. Also is another clothing brand, which is my brother friend. I was looking into his clothing brand. I really love it. It's a different type of style. It's called Real Lifers. So shout out to him too.
Yeah, I think it's like you guys were saying, it's all about necessarily the creativity and, you know, doing something different. Because I feel like this space is getting a little saturated. There's a lot of people wanting to do clothing brands. There's a lot of people wanting to be social media stars or, you know, vlog, or you got to do something different. You got to make yourself, you know, stick out. You know, there's a lot of people that are doing this at a very young age. I mean, not to veer off a little bit, but like, you know, you got Kai Cenat, you got Speed, that 18, 17, 19-year-old that are cultivating the culture, but also are very young. So I think, especially on Sunday, is the Neighborhood Threads. You know, we've been very fortunate to, you know, experienced this, and there's definitely been a lot of different, styles, especially Gucci. I feel like I'm like every time I see this man, like at one of these events, I think people need to kind of like look at that and be like, you're looking for him, because it's like, what are you gonna do next? And I think that's pretty impressive. And I think if you really care about being different and kind of expressing yourself, because me personally, I think fashion is a sense of expression. You can see somebody wear something and you can kind of, I'm not going to say not stereotype the person, but you can, if you're wearing Tim's, maybe you might be from New York, or maybe, you like that bulky look, it's you never know, you know what I mean? But it's definitely a form of expressing yourself. So I think people are going to look forward to Sunday for sure. So I think that's going to be pretty great. Do y'all have anything y'all want to reveal to us on Sunday, or y'all gonna keep it for Sunday, or what?
Rep the 5.
Rep the 5. Rep the 5.
Well, hold on. Wait. What's rep the 5 mean? Hold on, what that mean? Explain that.
Hey, just know on Sunday, I don't know if this is gonna get posted before Sunday, but if you see the aftermath of Sunday, then y'all gonna know. Rep the 5. That's all I'm gonna say.
Rep the 5.
All right. I don't know if am I allowed to rectify? How do I rectify?
Oh, is it really a process to rectify? Like
That's
you just
all
really
you gotta do.
Just
gotta
rectify.
All right, put it up.
People in the comments ain't gonna come for me if I rectify or anything.
Nah.
I rectify.
We fact checked it.
All right, just making sure. Now, for your brand to be a part of it, or to be a member, or to be somebody that is trying to be in part of your culture, do they have to dress a certain way? Do they have to be a certain person? Who are we looking at in the starting 5? Like, what's the starting 5?
This question is really good, just because we had not really a debate over it, but for our aesthetic right now, obviously it's more, I'd say, like urban streetwear based, and we just recently had a shoot for Juneteenth where we kind of were able to incorporate a different element, where we had slacks, and then Black, one of our other members, he wore a brown themed apparel. So it's kind of right now in its beginning stages where we kind of look at certain stuff and we'll try to piggyback off of that. But I'd say more so urban streetwear type, with the apparel that we wear. So yeah,
I think that's pretty dope. What do you? How do you feel on that? How y'all feel on?
I feel like some things that's relatable and that everybody has. So we're not trying to be too flashy, put up with some bait, $1,000 pants, $1,000 shoes. We're not trying to be too flashy. We're trying to be more relatable to people. Be like, this is what we did with our closet. You could do it too. And then we just came as a collective and be like, you know what? Let's just throw it out in the world. Okay, this is how we can dress. How can you dress? So it's basically more of a relatable thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all want to be relatable. Mm-hmm. Is this something that you guys want to take, in Florida? Or do you want to go worldwide? Where do you guys see yourselves taking this? Because obviously you guys are going to expand. You guys are going to get bigger. But where do y'all want to go? Who's your audience? Where you're trying to do?
We got to take over South Florida. That's one thing for sure. We got to take over South Florida. Once we feel comfortable taking over South Florida, that's when we can go touring. So we can go out to Atlanta. We're pretty comfortable in Atlanta, so we'll probably take over Atlanta, take over Houston. So yeah, we would want to do it worldwide, or we want to do step by step, taking it over state by state, pretty much. Yeah. Hey, soon we might be in Europe. Hey,
in Europe. I like it.
Literally. How y'all feel about it?
I agree. I feel like expanding is the main thing, because you always want to expand, not just personally, but also with the aspirations you have for yourself and people that you work and network with all the time. So it's just I really would be in if overnight, God willing, my Twitch streaming just kicked off, then it's we've already entered into a subcontinental market where a lot of kids that are in the US are going to watch you, and then let's say you get even bigger on those different platforms, and then people in Europe are watching you. So I feel it's really limitless with whatever we can do. It just matters how we apply ourselves and if we show integrity and passion towards it along the way. So yeah,
I agree. Also, yesterday we was just talking. This was my first photo shoot with them. I'm the newest member, part of the starting 5. And literally after the photo shoot, we was just talking about like let's go to New York, like let's start traveling and stuff like that, which I love about the group. It's just like very different comparing to other groups and stuff like that. Even by like their photos that we all post on Instagram, like what stand out to me was like they're not the same as everybody. Like they just like the go photos, like that was hard. Like my homeboy sent it to me and I was like, that's the like group that I would definitely want to be part of. And here I am.
Y'all should definitely check out their Instagram. I've been keeping close attention with what y'all been doing, and the pictures you guys have been posting are pretty dope. And like she was saying, they're different. I think being different is the thing that's going to get you noticed the most, because it's one thing to, dress nice, but what can you do with that? Can you tell a story with it? And I think you guys been telling the story. Like you said, y'all did something for Juneteenth. I think that's pretty cool, pretty awesome. And I think, I don't know, maybe you never know. More people might bite off of it. You never know. But that's what you want, If you ain't got nobody biting off it, you're not doing it right. But you also touched on something that I actually wanted to speak about is Europe. I see also they have, their own streetwear fashion style. How do y'all feel about that? Do you feel that, I don't want to start no wars or anything like that. Do you feel that we dress better than them, or do you feel that there's things they bite off of us or we bite off of them? How do you feel on the streetwear globally?
All right, so I'm gonna get into UK. I feel like with UK fashion, they definitely bit off New York. Let's like call a spade a spade. The track, like they're in their New York already had the tracksuit era, but I feel like that's what UK is currently like involved in, that tracksuit New York style, where it's like the Nike Techs and stuff,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
like wearing the shiesties, the skis and stuff. So I feel like that's currently the whole roadman. Not that it's a gimmick. I don't want to touch down in a certain area and then people hear me saying it's a gimmick, but that's the only word I can think of. But like, not that it's a gimmick or nothing like that, but I feel like that's currently the gimmick that they portray, and that definitely came from New York. So I feel like in some ways they look at what we do down here in the States and they bite off of that a little bit, and then they add their little spin on it, here and there. But like overall, they definitely derive it from New York.
I believe Central Street the other day was saying that they started Nike Techs. I don't know how true that is, but I was seeing something like that.
Nah, they
They got
definitely
it.
did got that from New York.
And I don't know if you know Clint Cortez.
Oh, the one, yeah, I think I believe though. He
Clint 419.
does he do like the paid in full style, or he gets a lot of his stuff?
He has like the C with the
Mhm.
star
In the house, right?
Nah, I think that's Ladder Houses, but like, yeah, Clint has like the C with the star. He makes like I personally like the sets that he makes. I feel like he puts effort into it. He does somewhat get people to do it for him, but like that's another topic for a different day. But I like the way Clint does it. Y'all should look him up too. Like he's definitely like up there. I think he has sponsorships with like Nike and stuff. as
Oh,
well.
okay, yeah, that's dope.
so.
What would you say to anybody that's trying to get into fashion, or maybe not necessarily trying to get to fashion? They're at that age where, like I said, I started really getting into it when I got out of high school. They want to express themselves. They want to, dress how they feel best. Like, and then maybe they might be scared or nervous because, again, like, people, we're in the era, sadly, that people judge people for wearing certain styles or whatever. What would you say to that kid or that person that's trying to find themselves in fashion or streetwear per se?
So you want to take this one?
For me, I would say just like, people be saying be yourself and stuff like that. I say just get out your comfort zone. Don't be like everybody else. For me, like I used to like look into like different styles, go on Pinterest and stuff like that. Then like do it your way. Don't even copy nobody else. You see those stuff on Pinterest. Okay, it gives you motivation. Okay, I could do this, but do it yourself. Like change it up a little bit or something like that. Like I used to still, even till then, I'd be looking at like Quan. I look at Geo and stuff like that. Lil Yachty got some hard fits, but mostly I look into Quan and stuff like that. Like how he gets so much hate and stuff like that based off like what he wear. I like that. Like he gets out of his comfort zone. Like even on Streamer University, he had like these like prison orange black striped shorts. And, like, everybody was getting on him. And, like, he did not care. He did not give a fuck. It was just his style and his way, which I love.
Yeah, anybody want to add on to that?
Nah, that's perfect. answer.
Those orange pants. I ain't gonna lie, I thought they were hard.
I ain't see
Like,
it.
I was like,
I
no,
looked at
I
it.
I
looked
see it
at
either,
this.
no cap.
I see those. I see those. That's good. That's pretty dope. Yeah, I think to add on to what you're saying, I think being different, not caring what people say is something huge, something really big, especially when you want to get into fashion, streetwear, or any type of style of fashion. I think that's huge. I ask this question to every single one of my guests. And I want to know, actually, I want to know how y'all, all three of y'all feel on this. When it comes to fashion with your significant other or somebody you're interested in, do you believe or do you think that that person should be able to dress or should be able to keep up with per se like how you dress, or are y'all styling? Talk to me. I want to hear from all three of you guys. I want to hear from the starting five.
So when you say that, do you mean like controlling, basically? Like
I
controlling
would
how
say
they dress?
controlling how they dress, but all right. So say you guys, y'all dress, y'all have style.
Mhm.
Your girl don't got style. She got she will wear some the dunks, the panda dunks with skinny jeans. I don't know the
Skinny
copy
jeans.
and paste.
Oh.
Like, how are y'all addressing that,
Who want to
or
go?
how do you feel on that?
To be honest, like it's a 50-50, I think that on one end, I would like the idea of having a fashion girlfriend. Like that's been one of the big things for me, is just having somebody that, comes knowing what they like to wear and it can match my fly. But then on the other hand, it's like, dang, I feel like sometimes when you really look at what you wear personally, no one might have that same or similar style, especially if you find them attractive. That's another thing. And so it's like, double-edged sword. I really would like to think that I can help somebody, reiterate what they wear and what they like, you feel comfortable in. But at the end of the day, it's like, dang, I feel like I can't always try to, help
Yeah.
somebody or like, tell them or give them the go around. Like I'll let them wear some of my clothes, but then it's like that's the most I'm really doing, to be honest.
For me, I would say, yeah, basically like a 50-50. Like with the people I've talked to, they did have some style and stuff like that. It was this person that I did talk to, and like she wanted to go based off like my style. Like she would like be like, okay, let me go off like what you would wear, or she'll be asking me like, oh, what should I wear? Or like we'll go to the mall and she'll be like, babe, just like pick out an outfit for me. Like we literally went to the mall one day and it was her birthday, and I picked out the whole entire outfit. So I just love that, like, people, like, even though they can't like really dress, they want the help, that you can see like progress and the potential that they want to put it in, so that y'all can be fly together. Why not?
I like what Jay said, and to top it off with that, honestly, yeah, I feel like if you don't know nothing about fashion, you don't know nothing about the game. I feel like that's perfect. Because then it's like, it's my own creative world. I can do it like it's GTA. Like, I can literally dress you like it's GTA for real. And I feel like in a relationship type, if you really want to get into fashion and really like at least look good out in public, I say color coordinate. So if I'm wearing green, wear like something that complements green. So like green and dark green, like camo, or orange and yellow, or even blue and purple. You feel me? So I feel like color coordination is really key in like relationship type style. But yeah.
So what I'm hearing from y'all is y'all don't mind somebody who can't dress as long as y'all able to style them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty dope. I think I'll probably do the same thing, because the reason why I ask this to every guest is because there was one time I'm sorry, I'm putting this story out here, but there was this one time I took this girl out and I really liked her. She was very beautiful. I never really seen her like, because I met her, I forgot where I met her, but she was always in uniform. So I never really think about that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. After I seen what she wore, because we went to Top Golf, we didn't have a second date. I honestly felt like,
Not even mad at it.
Wait,
Not even
just
mad at
because she
it.
couldn't dress.
yes, just because she could.
Not even mad at
Hey,
it.
but mind y'all though, it wasn't like, it just was bad. Colors were all off. Like, I felt like I was gonna need to do a little bit more than just telling her to dress. We just gonna have to start from scratch. I just wasn't. You gotta be honest sometimes. I just wasn't gonna work out for me. So that's the reason why I asked y'all that, get y'all opinion on that. You know what I mean? 'Cause
It had to be a horrible fit.
Literally.
Nah, I ain't gonna
I
lie.
want to see the fit.
But like, ain't no
I don't want
potential.
to see the fit. Too.
Literally, bro.
How bad
Like, I want to see how bad
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
She have like polka dots on.
I think she was wearing like if I try to not remember it too much, but
Oh, it was that bad.
she was wearing a jacket. Mind you, it was like March or summertime, whatever. A jacket with a hat, and then the jacket said some crazy like I don't know, like it just wasn't working. And then she was wearing leggings with the jacket, and she was
Oh,
wearing
the basic fit. I'm not even talking about. Yeah.
like Chucks, and I don't know, I could not see it through. I couldn't see it through. But speaking of fits, do y'all have a specific fit that y'all ever put on? It doesn't matter. Last year, yesterday, months ago, years ago. What's your favorite fit that you ever put on, if you could think of, or one of them?
You gotta come back to me. I'm still
Like talk to me. Like,
oh wait, I got it. Go ahead.
My fit that I love personally, just cause like, dang, you did that to yourself. Like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Is when I wore the brown suit at Threads with the pelt, and I was getting a lot. Not that I got clown, you feel me? Even if I did get clown, I really wouldn't have minded. But a lot of people were just like, you look like Pimp C type. And I'm like, all right, I don't really think that's what I was going for, y'all, but I see what y'all mean. It was more Italian mobster, But I love that outfit
Tony
personally.
Soprano.
Yes, I love that outfit just because I feel like it kind of encapsulated a lot of different ideas that I had in mind, and I put it all into a fit. I had the tabbies on. I had on, like I said, the brown 2-piece suit, and then I had on the coat. And I feel like no one at Threads wore anything like that before. And it's kind of ironic that somebody happened to have on a coat that resembled mine. And I'm just like, the fact that we both didn't even plan it out and it just like happened to be that way, it just shows like, we were both trying to step out of our reach from what everyone else had on. So I'd say like that personally is my favorite outfit. So
for me, I would say I love every one of mostly like all my birthday outfits. Like back then in like 2023, it was an outfit that I had. Like I went to Miami and like was in a museum. I used to always love going to museums and take out my outfits in those type of styles. It was like this varsity jacket and then like these like it was like green baggy like cargo pants, but like you really couldn't tell that it was cargo. And like that really like stood out to me and stuff like that. Even my recent birthday post, it was like, it's something like everybody came in with a tie. Like that's what was trending around the point. But I like how I did it my way. It was different and stuff like that. Like that's a post that everybody would send it to me. They didn't know like I would pop out with the grills and stuff like that. It was a different color tie. I went brown tie, went Rolex on the watch.
Ooh.
They didn't even know. They thought it was G-Shock.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So like I just love like stepping it up every time for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of birthday, I feel like it's a tradition of mine. Every year for my birthday, I like to take a picture in a suit.
Okay.
Because everybody for their birthday, all they do is baggy jeans, Hellstar. They do these $1,000 clothes. It's like sometimes not a lot of niggas are. Well, I don't know if I can say that.
Oh, you can say.
A lot of niggas aren't like they don't got money in their pockets. So it's like what I want to do is like I want to always every day for my birthday a suit to show like it doesn't matter if I'm big in the top or if I'm low in like rock bottom. If you see me in a suit, just know today's my birthday, and I feel like exactly. I feel like I made it somehow, some way. But I would say my favorite suit was the suit that got me into fashion for real, and that's when I wore the blue varsity jacket, blue hat, blue shades, slacks, and the blue Travises. Forgot what Travises are those again? There's a name for it, but those blue Travises, I feel like
cactus.
No.
Nah, not the cactus.
No.
But I feel like that fit in general is really what got me into fashion because it was like, damn, that's so hard. That's a hard fit, and it's like I haven't seen much people wear it like how I wore it. So like with the button down, the tie, and the varsity, I feel like that's really what got me stepping in out of my comfort zone. Because mind you, I was wearing skinny jeans, all that, and it was like, how can I do something different? So I was like, you know what? Let me put on some slacks, dress tie, varsity jacket, and then rock out with that. So I feel like that right there is my favorite fit of all time. Literally.
The thing is, I feel like when it comes to like fits and stuff like that, for me, I'm telling you right now, I don't really have a favorite one because to me they're stressful. Because it's like especially when it comes to like an event, a big event like Neighborhood Threads, where everything gotta like somewhat go the way you want it to go. You know what I mean? You get the idea, you get the pieces, sizing, making sure it looks good, make sure you feel good. It's hot out there. So it's like that, all that factors. So it's like that's a huge thing, especially when you're putting the fit together. Do y'all do a lot of thrifting or?
Yeah,
Thrifting?
I went
I go
thrifting
thrifting sometimes.
last week too.
What spots y'all go to? If y'all mind, sharing. I don't know if y'all want to gatekeep. Or...
Thrift shit. Best thrift. It's in Fort Lauderdale, down in Fort. You probably but it's like they have a lot of pieces over there, like a lot of not varsity, jerseys. They have a lot of jerseys, football jerseys, soccer jerseys, and even basketball jerseys. Like if you need a comfortable jersey and would like to rock out with your favorite team, I feel like thrift shit is one of those ones where it's like best place to get your jerseys from.
Okay.
For me, I just kind of like started thrifting and stuff like that, but it was a store. It's called Season Thrift, I believe that's what it's called. It's in Lauderdale. I go there all the time for my stuff.
Okay.
That's crazy. She says that. I was gonna plug Season Thrifting because that was the one I went to with Douglas last weekend. But I also say American Thrift is good. Obviously, a Goodwill, any local Goodwill that you can find. But you gotta really like come to Goodwill in the morning because like people be taking all the good stuff out of it. And then there's one by my house that's called Autism Thrift as well. That one's really good, but it's by my crib, so don't be trying to come take all the good clothes. Take some good things, but not everything. So those are three I'm gonna say.
That's nice. That's nice. Hey, listen, man, I really appreciate y'all for coming. I want y'all to, before we exit, I want y'all to tell the people what y'all have in store. What should they expect from y'all? And first of all, you said I'm pretty sure we're missing a couple members. No.
Yeah.
Shout out the members.
I got it. So shout out Off Rip. Shout out Damo, one of the newest members of the group. His creative style and his creative direction, I feel like he was a perfect part of the team already. Like first day, just like Jay, perfect fitted for the team. One of another founder, Douglas, he couldn't make it at this time. Shout out Douglas. I can't believe he couldn't make it. That's crap. But you know what I'm saying? It's like he's another reason why me and Gucci was like, you know what? We can't do it without any other people. Like if it wasn't for Gucci, me and Douglas would have never done it. If it wasn't for Douglas, me and Gucci would have never done it. If it wasn't for me, them and Gucci would have never even met, honestly. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like everybody that's here right now, even that's not here, is a key role in this team right here. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't replace it for nobody. I wouldn't trade it for nobody. I ain't gonna lie. Rep the 5 to the day I die.
Rep the 5 to the day I die.
Literally. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Nah,
No, you good.
Oh yeah, like he said, I really just wanted to shout out those two people, as well as even though right now he's currently in his sad phase. I gotta rep Wilson for sure, and then my boy Dottie as well. Those are two people that were part of the group, getting to the point that it is right now. So I feel like without them, we wouldn't really have been here. And like he said, rep the 5 to the day I die. So yeah.
I'm glad to be part of the group, and I'm glad that I'm the the last member of the group that they chose for the 5th person, and I'm the only girl, so I fuck with that.
My bad, we forgot our boy Jaw. How can we not? We gotta plug in Jacon Archives. Shout out the manager, the main.
Shout out the manager for real, honestly.
Y'all got anything to look forward to? I know y'all gonna be out there in for the Neighborhood Threads event this Sunday. Make sure y'all be there. Dressed to impress. They gonna be there, and I know they gonna put it on. I'm her top 5's for sure gonna be there. So y'all got anything else that y'all coming up or anything?
I don't want to start nothing, but I feel like look out for us just going up against another group up and coming out the SoFly Collective, them boys, we really rock with them boys, but at the same time, they know it's pressure, to be honest. So it's like, we're going to do a Fit Wars, and we're going to see, which organization can put that shit on the best. That's what I'm declaring right now on her Top 5 Fits podcast, is that SoFly versus Starting 5 on Sunday at Neighborhood Threads. So
y'all tune in. Y'all heard it here first. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Ready 5 out. 5.
Everybody.